Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Angela Davis and I'm the Forum Quilter. And today's a continuation of the beginning of our 12 block sampler. We started out with the star, the hunter's star, and I did 3 versions of it. I did a version where I did the background color in the middle and then the star points in green. I did the second version with the green in the middle to match the green points. And then I did a third version where I did a small star in the middle of a larger star. The second block is the Little Red Schoolhouse. And I know that's traditionally what it's called. I used, of course, colors that I'm using within my color palette for this quilt. I want to talk a little bit about things that went really well with this pattern and then little situations that I ran into that I had to fix. Okay, so I'm using the block called Neighbors, and it is by Moda, modafabrics.com. And don't worry, I'm going to leave a link in the description block so that you can download the pattern. What I did, the things that I liked about the pattern was on this page here, they specifically have the top row, which is and the chimneys, the chimney and the bell tower. Okay, and what I like about the pattern is it tells you inside each strip and each block how big that cut segment is, and then it tells you what the length and the width is after they're sewn together. And that's a really good pattern. I'm going to talk about the roof line, but I want to talk about the wall and the door. The wall is set up with dark, 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 and then the 2 windows. A top dark, a top light, and a bottom dark. This section right here is the wall. And if you just follow the guidelines for the sizes for those strips, you can easily put the wall together. And the same thing with the door. The door has the wall color and the top and then the door piece. And again, after you sew the wall together and after you sew the door together, before you sew those together, it gives you what the cut size is in the width and the length. That's a very good pattern. Now here's where I ran into problems. When I downloaded the pieces for the roof line, which is here, this half triangle, this half triangle, I think it's parallelogram, this parallelogram, and then this triangle. I did not take into consideration that I should have adjusted the print size for this. And so when I cut out my templates, I put it together, and this section right here came out puny, okay, very small. And so what I did was I ended up recutting these pieces according to what they say the finished measurement is. Now they say that, I apologize, what the cut measurement is. They say unfinished, this is 12.5 inches by 4 inches, okay? So what I did was I took the original piece and I extended the width and the height, and the same thing with each other piece. And then before I sewed them together, I folded the seam allowances and sort of did like a little mock layout, and I put them next to each other at the folds where the seam allowance was to make sure that when I went to go sew it together, it would work, and it did. And some of you were asking, well, why didn't I just go back to the original pattern and reprint it, adjusting the size? Well, my computer doesn't have a printer. So I had to do this manually. And I was okay with that. I was okay with that. And you'll notice that on each side, there's a little bit of space here, and that's for seam allowance for when I join it with the next block. So I did have to make some modifications to accommodate for those things, but it did turn out well, and I am pleased with it. I am pleased with it. This actually, it ended up measuring my cut size 11¼ inches by 11¼ inches, I think. And I don't know how that happened, but yes. 11¼ inches by 11¼ inches. So somewhere along the line, I must have messed up on one of these panels here when I cut, and that's okay. I mean, it turned out really nice. And even though it did not end up being, because they say here unfinished should be 12½ by 12½, here it did not, and I'm okay with that. If, however, I was doing a sampler quilt where each block had to be unfinished at 12½ inches, I would go back and redo this block. But my sampler quilt, each block is going to be a little bit of a different size because I want mine to have sort of a random scrappy look. Even though I'm using colors that coordinate and colors that will coordinate with the focus fabric, I want each size of each block to be different sizes finished to give it sort of a random scrappy look. So I think it's going to work well. So let me put this back up on the wall. I was actually thinking about making another star and a star to make this one 4-patch. I think that would look nice. Now, you notice something. I chose 2 colors for this block and 2 colors for this block. The next one, I'm going to choose at least 3 colors. And for that one, we're doing the friendship knot. And this one is, I'm going to have to put the link below because the printing is so small. It's a little difficult to see. And again, it's telling me that this is my distance, my 1-inch distance to compare these other pieces with when printing. And that's kind of difficult though, you know, because this particular pattern has curves in it. It's a friendship knot. And it says it's supposed to finish to a 10-inch block. So we will see. We will see. So there you have it. The next block we do is going to be the friendship block. And let me look at some of the colors. Oh, and the other thing I did was I took extra notes for the Schoolhouse block. The printing on this is quite small. So what I did was I took notes on how many light rectangles I needed and the sizes, and how many dark rectangles I needed and the sizes. And that's what these notes are. Because I had to really look at this to see the measurements. And again, if I had to go back, I would reprint this, but I would increase the scale. And maybe that would have made the difference, you know, as far as my pattern pieces. But I have a computer here, but I don't have a printer, and I was working on my Schoolhouse block in the middle of the night, like sometimes I do, and I wanted to finish it. But again, if it were crucial that that block had to be unfinished 12.5 inches, I would readjust the scale on the original pattern and do it all over again. And I would just save this for the back. But my sampler quilt, each block is going to be a different size, so I'm okay with it. So for the friendship block, I want to do 3 different colors. So I'm thinking the leaves for the center, which is right here, and then should I do dark green for the arc? There's an arc here. Right here. Should I do dark green for the arc? And then maybe do ooh, that would be pretty. Maybe the medium and the light for the little, sort of like that tulip corner, maybe. That might look nice. That might look nice. But I don't like the paisley with the leaf. So maybe I'll do this. The leaf in the middle, the arc, the dark green, and then the medium and the dark rose for sort of that tulip petal. It's not a tulip, but it sort of reminds me of a tulip petal. Friendship knot. Definitely gonna have to leave the link below if I could read that writing. Oh boy. I'll definitely leave the link below so that you can get this pattern. Friendship sampler. Old block sampler, Bernita blog, friendship knot, 10 inches block, a 10-inch block. And I printed it straight off the screen without adjusting anything. So I'm going with these pattern pieces that are here. Oh, and then the background right here, C, I'll use the leaf pattern again. Here's C. I'll use the leaf pattern again. So, well, I'll use the leaf again. So the center will be the leaf, and that outer background will be the leaf pattern. I got it. I'm good. Okay, so do I have enough prints of this to start cutting this pattern out? Let's see what I have on my desk. No, I don't, but that's okay. That's okay. I can always make a copy tomorrow at work and then tomorrow night start cutting this out. So, that is the second block in the 12 block sampler quilt, and really enjoyed the Schoolhouse block. I've done a house block before, but I've never done the Schoolhouse. Really enjoyed that. And I might do another 4th star and make that one large patch, but a four block patch. I might do that. Yeah, I might do that. Just to keep you updated on what's been going on, I'm still working on my patchwork squares for my curtains. I have my grandmother's basket quilt on the back burner right now, but it's still on my mind. I'm going to continue the Dresden plate block. I'm going to finish the inside circle, and then I'm going to do some type of a border and cornerstones in the 4 corners. I haven't quite decided whether I'm going to do a full Dresden plate or maybe some fan blocks with that one, not sure. And then of course I have a couple that I do need to get sandwiched together so that I can do some quilting. So I will keep you updated. I've been posting on my Instagram, not a lot, but a little bit. I'm still getting comfortable with that. I've never done that type of social media before. And that sort of requires me to sort of expose myself in a way where I've never been exposed. I tend to be a little more private, but it's in regard to quilting. So I'm still getting comfortable with how do I use this, how much do I share, what do I share? Do I share every time I sit down at the machine? Do I share just projects I'm working on? I'm still trying to orient myself about how that type of social media works, because I don't want to be the type of person who just posts anything every day. I'm not going to post what I eat. I'm not going to post where I buy my coffee or what latte I order. I don't order a latte, but you understand. It's just not my way. So I'm trying to navigate this particular social platform, how it's going to apply to my YouTube channel and reaching all of you, the audience. So I'll leave a link below to the Instagram. I've also started posting a little bit on Facebook. Again, very little. It is the 4M Quilter Facebook page. And feel free to, if you started the sampler quilt, please post something. Show me your star, show me your little red schoolhouse, or show me another block that you might be interested in. I would love to see it, and I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Angela Davis, and I'm the 4M Quilter. There's a little hug for me. And remember, why sleep when you can sew? Good night.